Hey everybody, welcome to the Heroes Reborn after review show. Um, let's start off by first. Oh, hey John,
Hey, I'm switching you to my laptop. I'll be right back.
you got it. All right, so now I couldn't get the YouTube app to be playing videos and whatnot on the screen for whatever reason. I'm having problems with that. So I'm going to be using my small TV behind me here. Let's just test it out and see that. Okay, so we got the so now what we'll do first here is we'll play the trailer from last week and see what we're. Oh, well, we've got an election commercial going on here. Let's just skip that. Okay, there we go. Play this.
96% of all species on Earth wiped out. Starting over is never pretty.
Humanity is on the brink of extinction.
When the moment comes, he will prevent it.
And our last hope
I can't use my powers.
could be a young hero's destiny.
Why am I so important?
You're going to help save the world. Heroes Reborn. All new next Thursday on NBC. And get
Okay, so that was the trailer for last night's episode, the Lion's Den, and I haven't checked out the numbers or anything. John, have you seen any of the numbers on the last night's episode?
No, I can't say that I have. Sorry.
No, I didn't get a chance to check online today. I got a little busy at work, so I'm a little behind on that. Let me just bring this up here. I'm going to bring up a slideshow from last night's episode. I got a few images we can have a peek at, and we can talk about them as we go along. Okay, let's get that going. Yeah, I was saying, John, I was having a heck of a time with the on-air apps today. Even at work, I couldn't get the videos to play. I was having trouble getting pictures to upload, so I don't know if they're having problems right now, but I figured, well, I'll just put it up on the screen behind me. So let's go on first with we got Miko and Ren last night, their storyline. So we got Miko and Ren. They've got a group of people, fans of his, showing up at Renatus to sort of infiltrate the place by having everybody dress up as Katana Girl, kind of confuse security, have them come on, just kind of so they can get into the building so she can chase after the sword. What are your thoughts on their storyline so far, John?
It feels like it's parodying Hero and Ando. It just feels that way. The dynamics between the two of them, like a sort of buddy best friend system, only there's sort of this weird, I don't know, romantic entanglement that obviously Hero and Ando didn't have, but you know, that revolves around the two of them. And you know, it feels like the whole thing was to get the sword, and Hero in, I believe, the first season was to get the sword. And I don't know, it just feels like it was kind of, you know, it was trying to copy it, but in a different way. It just, that's how it felt about it. Instead of whatchamacallit, instead of the Petrelli's father, we have this woman, the CEO of Planeta. Like I said, it feels like they just plagiarized their own script. That's what I wanted to get at.
And I agree. I believe, like when I was watching it last night, I kind of felt that they were pushing. It's almost like they're trying to capture that Ando Hero first season. Like you said, they had such a good camaraderie. and it seems like they're trying to push it with these two, and I'm enjoying their story so far. And last night when she breaks into Erica's house, she kind of saves Noah and Quentin and Taylor, and Erica gets away, but she gets her sword back. And when he went up to her, he gave her kind of a he says yata, and it comes up on the screen, "You did it." And I felt that was kind of a, I don't know what they're doing with that. They're trying to pay homage to the original duo, and this is the new duo.
It's basically a yata moment.
Yeah, it was like, you got your sword, yata, and it was like, did he just say what I thought he said? So I rewound it, and I'm like, you did it, I did it, we did it, kind of thing. And I'm like, that's what he used to, Euro used to say all the time. I think I got a picture of it right here coming up. Yeah, right there. Oh, you can't read it on the screen, but it actually says, "You did it." So I thought that was kind of funny that they're. And then we had the awkward hug there when she retrieved her sword, and just before she went back into the game. I'm kind of enjoying the CGI with the when she's disappearing and reappearing. But at least we didn't get the dreaded, hated. Well, what a lot of people aren't enjoying. They're not enjoying the in-game with her. But I'm enjoying when she disappears and reappears. It looks kind of neat. What do you think of that?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm enjoying the CGI too. It's that I can say without a doubt is different, as opposed to the original TV series. It was very different. It's almost as if now they really depend on the sword, because the sword is the source of their power, or actually her power, to be specific. It's kind of, it kind of derives from the Evo powers per se, but, it's a nice little twist.
Yeah. So let's see what we got here. I got Erica and Richard and Harris here up on the screen. And this was when Richard had called Erica to come in because whatever that contraption is that they're working on. Earlier on in the show, if you saw they had a guy, it looked like he had it on a conveyor belt. He touched it and it disappeared. And I'm like, oh, okay, what are these guys building? And then Richard says it's happening faster than we expected. You can kind of see that little device in the background there facing it. What do we think that is?
Okay, so basically, I feel like it's as if they tapped into Tommy's power. You touch it, and it disappears. And it probably goes somewhere else that we really don't know yet, that is to be determined. Somehow they harnessed that power into technology, and we still don't know where it is. Now, the whole entire solar flame thing that Richard would call her upon and said it was important, I'm sorry, but that feels like a ripoff of Armageddon. Except for an asteroid, we got the sun. And I'm just like, great, is Bruce Willis going to show up with his team? And I don't know.
Are we going to get a bad Aerosmith song to go with it?
Oh, yeah.
I love Aerosmith, but those love ballads are just terrible. Yeah, here's a shot of that, the flame coming towards Earth. And then where it originates, it looks like you said, like a sun or a star, and it pulls to the Earth. And then it basically engulfs the planet, and then we get the the Earth is now looks like it's completely burnt over. And what he says in that scene, Richard says, is 96% of all species will be wiped out in a matter of days when this happens. And this event, this fire over the Earth, is supposed to happen within 7 days. So. What I want to know is how they've been able to, like a magnet, pull this sun flare to the Earth and basically burn it over one time. Is there somebody's ability they've harnessed into that can, like this Melina? She's like creates life and whatnot? Do they have somebody that is completely controlled death, and they pulled the star down and we're just going to wipe out everybody? And how does she, like Erica wants to start all over, she says, but how is she going to do it if everybody's dead?
Okay, some theories that I have. If you're going to escape a scorched earth like that, my theory is they're transporting it underground.
Okay.
Really, really deep underground earth. So far down that basically those solar flares cannot touch. My theory. I could be wrong. For all I know, they're transporting it into a spaceship up above and flying it somewhat near the orbit away from the solar flare. I don't know. Those are just my couple of guesses. I could be wrong. Second, if we're going to go with like how to survive, that's where the seeds come in. I believe I saw a special in a documentary special, which is actually true. The government, or actually maybe the United Nations, actually keep seeds deep down below in a secret vault, and just in case if something really, really bad happens ecologically. I believe that this corporation is pretty much trying to mimic the same thing. Even though I guess it would override the United Nations, I guess that's how they're playing it. Now, as opposed to, warning everybody and trying to save humanity, maybe this corporation just gave up. Maybe it just said, screw it. We can't save all these people. We're just going to save the ones to our benefit in our corporation and, systematically just save a couple of people. Which is to say that saving, imprisoning Evos somehow plays a part in it. I'm not too sure. But Erica alluded to that fact.
Okay, no, I like that. That's a good. Those are that actually clarifies a lot of things for me in my own mind, because I was kind of confused as to, you said they go underground bunkers. They've probably been planning this longer than this past year, that since that June 13th took place. And she said they spent billions of dollars getting ready for this. So there probably is some kind of underground civilization that she's built for them. She's got the money, they got the corporation, they got the people, and who knows? Like you said, they're probably using Evos to help even build these underground bunkers, for all we know. We got Luke on the screen. Now, I found this an interesting picture. I think we mentioned last week. This is like a homage to Sylar. Like, this is Sylar season 1 outfit. We got the ball cap and we've got the black outfit. We got the gruffy face and everything else. But Luke goes home. Basically, he's like he's a mess right now. His wife has basically left him. His son died on June 13th during the summit. What do you think we can expect from him? Like, is he gonna? I don't know. I have a feeling that he's going to be part of the people that eventually end up saving the world.
Agreed. So when he called his neighbor in, okay, first the bills. Not too sure what that was all about. I guess he was just pissed off about bills.
Yeah. That's right.
He scrumpled it and just threw it to the side. I'm like, okay, he's just a regular guy hating bills. Now we see the neighbor, which you have brought up on the screen. Okay, so he was in the medical practice for some reason. I don't know if he's a doctor, or it would be pretty ironic that he's a doctor turned killer, but okay. He goes up to his partner. Do you want the business? Do you want the partnership? It's yours. Just write me a check. And he's asking him, what is this, retirement? And he said, no, atonement. Yeah. Right then and there, this is what I've discussed before in our very first episode. What is he going to do now that he has become what he hates? Does he put a gun to his head and blow his brains out? Or he does a 180-degree turn? Basically, He has to atone for his sins. He has to correct what he has ripped apart. And now I wonder if his neighbor, I mean, not his neighbor, his partner now sends him the money. What is he going to do with that money? Is he going to form another underground, or is he going to use that money to help save lives? Not too sure. The whole entire burning down of the house, I think that was a little overdone, and maybe he could have sold his house, I don't know, and helped with that money. But something tells me he couldn't do it in his right state of mind because it was part of his past. And him burning his part of the past kind of like unshackles himself from that former life, and now he's looking to make a new life from the ruins of his old one.
Yeah, no, I think that's very plausible. I think that's what's going on here. Is he's, like you said, what can he do now? He's killed. It's like we were talking about last week. It's almost like a Sylar a problem. Sylar killed all those people in the first 3 seasons, and then season 4, all of a sudden, hey, I'm a good guy. How are we supposed to forget what you did the last 3 seasons? All the heads that you skulls you opened, people you've impaled, or however you killed them. But now we're supposed to forget you did that because you say you're a good guy. And like with Luke, I think we can feel the conflict he has. He reasoned with his son, but we're saying he's feeling remorse. He wants to make it right. Maybe he'll embrace these abilities he has now and do something good with them.
Okay,
I don't know. Like you said, maybe he'll take this money from his house or his business and maybe start saving some of them. Maybe that'll be his purpose now. Well, okay, I've done wrong. I'm going to do right before I die. I don't see him, if they go another season, I don't think he may make it. I think he may make the ultimate sacrifice somewhere down the line.
It's plausible too. We'll call it the Sylar paradox. Or the Sylar syndrome. Luke has the Sylar syndrome.
That's right. Yeah, I think I got a picture of there's where he's starting to burn his starts the picture on fire with his
Now here's the problem and the dilemma that I see with the writers. Now that we basically see Luke sort of lose it and trying to, I guess you say, having a sort of cathartic effect of burning his house down and metamorphosizing into someone new. The problem is, we've seen it before with Sylar, like you said. What do the writers do with this? In the first couple of seasons, we see Sylar turn from bad to good to bad to good, and a twist and turn of every different direction. Are they going to do the same thing with Luke? It becomes a problem, the way that I see it. I don't know if the writers thought about this or they foresaw something like this. I guess you could say I'm a little uneasy on what they're going to do with Luke. I really do. This can turn really bad like they did with Sylar.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Like, as much as Sylar and Peter were my favorites in the original, they really lost focus with Sylar. It's either keep him one way or the other, at least keep him for a season the way that they were doing him. Like season 1, he was straight up evil. Season 2, he was evil without powers. Season 3, he's so conflicted. I have a family. I don't have a family. I found my dad. I don't like my dad. It just kept going back and forth. Like he would feel good, and he would want to kill everybody. Then he's with Luke, and then by 3 episodes later, he's sick of Luke and gets rid of him. Sends him home. They had no clear passage for him from basically. Like I liked him in season 3 because there was some from about episode 1 to about episode 10, I really enjoyed. Then it kind of just became like, well, we'll just show Sylar when we want people dead. And well, no, what's let's see. There's so many depths that we didn't get to see with the character. And in season 4 was just kind of a schmoz being in Nathan's body and essentially becomes a good guy after he spends an eternity with Peter in his own mind. So I think with Luke, if they're going to do it right, do him right. Either have him come out as the clear hero, making the ultimate sacrifice. I don't know what else they can really do with him. I think he's got to do something that makes you go, okay, we forget about what he's done. We understand why he did it. He was, he went out for vengeance, and we've got to do something with him where he's got a clear purpose. And I just don't feel we know what that purpose is yet. And, we're only 5 episodes in. We still got another 8 to go, but we should have we don't know if he's a good guy or bad guy now. We knew what he was in the first 3 or 4 episodes, but now we don't know what direction he's going to take.
Basically, he's a question mark.
Yeah. He could be, like you say, we've got like Melina, who is definitely a hero, and then we've got Harris, who's definitely a bad guy, and kind of Luke kind of goes on the fence. Which way is he going to fall? For all we know, he's going to take everybody out. Maybe he'll become his own be a vigilante of some sort. Well, he already is one, I guess. But he'll be. Let's see here. What do we got next? Now, I figured out what this guy's name was finally after this guy. This is Casper Pennyman. So last night he tells Tommy, essentially, the world, humanity's the weight is on your shoulders. You're going to save the world, regardless if you want to or not. And Tommy doesn't take that very well. He doesn't. He's a teenager, has a lot of pressure. Especially when you don't have a driver's license yet, and you've got to save the world, kind of thing.
I don't think it's his first kiss.
So, yeah, he doesn't have his first kiss yet. They keep that poor guy. They keep teasing it. It never happens. Like he could end up destroying the world. He's going to be so frustrated.
It's like I haven't. He's like, I haven't even had an embrace with my love interest, and now you're telling me it falls onto my shoulders that I have to save the world. Great. So I'm going to become the unruly teenager who rebels. No, I'm not going to save the world. And for the record, I wasn't the first one who actually thought that Casper was his father. Tommy actually asked, "Are you my father?"
Yeah, that would have been the. What did you think when the mom says to him? I think it was the mom says, "Your real name is Nathan." You think they're just paying a tribute to Petrelli because we're not going to see him, or is there some kind of innuendo there?
It's possible. It's possible that it's a tribute, and it's possible that she didn't tell him his real name. For all we know, he still is also a question mark in regards to his background and his backstory. Now that we're introduced that he's basically adopted, and it's confirmed that the blood tests did not match them up. I'm not exactly an expert on blood tests, and I'm not an expert on matching blood types, but I'm pretty sure that they're pretty accurate in that respect. Now, given the fact that we don't know about Tommy and what he's supposed to do to save the world, is he going to be single when Casper says that he is going to save the world? On whose behalf is Casper talking of? Is he talking about this weird underground Evo? I guess you could say puppeteers. Is he on behalf of a government bureaucracy? We don't know. We really don't know much about Casper. And to be quite honest, could he possibly be working for Erica's corporation? We really don't know.
Yeah, there's a few variables in the Tommy, Casper, and the mom's relationship that we're not aware of yet. I think there's got to be something more there with Casper, and I'm sure they'll get into it as we go on.
Another thing, that whole entire episode where Tommy is basically fingerprinted, eye scanned, and he's been injected with a microchip.
Yes.
That screams Big Brother. And the whole entire time, I'm thinking to myself, okay, the cop is telling him this is for our safety. And I'm thinking to myself, well, what about his safety? He's still a human being. I'm just thinking to myself, shouldn't there be a lawyer in the room? Doesn't he have some civil rights? I'm not too sure. I automatically go into lawyer mode and thinking to myself, mom's in the hospital. Shouldn't there at least be a lawyer there to at least, be on behalf of his mother? Looking out for his regard. He is still a minor.
That's right. Yeah, he is a minor, and he shouldn't be questioned or interviewed or anything without an adult or a lawyer present or a family member. And yeah, basically you're right. They for the evolved humans, they've just thrown there's no, we can kind of do what we want with you. They really like when they put the tracker in, and that was another thing. He's not going to be he can teleport wherever he wants to, but they're going to know where he is now. He's not going to be able to really hide from them. They want to track him down. He's going to have to stay awake 24 hours a day just to get away from them.
Agreed. That thing is in his wrist. I'm not too sure if he can get it out or if there's anybody that can get it out for him. He's kind of screwed. He's tagged. He literally is tagged.
He's tagged. Unless he goes like the guy in the first episode that cut his hand off to take off flying. I don't know if he wants to make that sacrifice, though. That was quite extreme when that guy did that.
Agreed. Very extreme. But worst comes to worst, and you don't want to be found. Bye hand.
That's right. I guess if you got to do it, you got to do it. But maybe he'll come across somebody like. I believe we're still going to see Micah down the road because I think in one of the commercials it says we all have to fight back, and who knows, maybe he can touch it and scramble it or something inside him. He definitely can. He can definitely play with computers and whatnot. There's got to be a chip or something he can touch. There's another Tommy and Emily. Is it Emily? Moment there in the background. Another we're gonna hug, but don't give him the big kiss payoff. Poor guy.
This is where
you gotta save the world, but you can't have a kiss.
Yeah. Oh my
God.
God.
I mean, I have respect for her at the same time because she has a boyfriend. She's not cheating on him.
Agreed.
Tommy's a friend.
But they clearly have that tension there.
Yes.
It's pretty much as thick, so thick you could cut it with a knife, or in this case, Miko's katana. Because this is where the love interest comes. It was between Luke and Joanne, and it was with Tommy. Well, I guess I'll call him Tommy. Tommy and Emily, and now with Ren and Miko. And that's where the love interests lie. And it's nice to see a little, differences of that. Be as that may, we still don't know exactly if there's going to be any more pairings or not.
True. Well, Noah doesn't have. Well, I guess Noah had a love interest in the first episode, but apparently that's done. Wasn't he was going to get married to a woman in the first episode? They were even planning out their wedding, and now he's just kind of tucking off on her, and I guess she maybe no love interest for. Noah never really gets a good love interest. He always gets screwed over on that one because he's too busy being a company man.
It seems like nobody gets a love interest, period. Everyone's
exactly
to die out. If you're in a love interest in Heroes, sorry, buddy, or sorry, lady, it's not gonna last.
So true.
It's a less life expectancy than a walker in The Walking Dead.
That's right. So behind me here, we've got the lovely, as Noah calls it, the Sea Bank. And Noah and Quentin and Taylor are wandering through the basement here trying to escape the building. And he comes across this and he mentions, your mom's talking about wiping out 7 billion people. And then, like you were just saying, this is the seed bank. They want to repopulate the world. They've got the genes of all the best banked away here. And And I think they took all these on crates later on, and that's what was being transported by that mysterious machine where we saw earlier with Richard, Erica, and Harris. Now, I believe most of these were Evo seeds, were they not, or did they really go into that? I don't recall.
I'm just going to take a guess, but they're just regular seeds you would find in a garden. Planting seeds, vegetables, tree seeds, plants.
Oh, okay. See, I thought for some reason these were the seeds of the Evos or something like that. They're taking they're calling them seeds, but they weren't really seeds, and they were gonna. I don't know. I was really confused by it. But if that's what it is, if it's just for food and whatnot, then that was kind of, they really went overboard on it. Because, yeah, like that's a lot of, yeah, they must be doing something huge if they're, I guess if you're wiping out the world, you need to repopulate. But if the world is scorched, it's going to take many years before you can even plant anything anymore. That's going to be strange to see what they're going to do with this.
Agreed. It's going to take a long time. I'm pretty sure maybe they have an Evo that would help develop the land for all we know.
Ah, Melina. Melina would be the one, wouldn't she? Yeah, she pulled that tree. She made that tree grow out of the earth in a matter of seconds. She could kind of, maybe that's why they want to capture her so bad, because they're going to repopulate the world. They need to have air, clean air, and everything else. She can just go out there and spend the day and grow half a city of trees. Okay. That makes more sense to me now.
And the plot thickens.
Yeah. There we got a picture there of Quentin. He didn't have a lot of action. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. We'll come up to the. Well, actually, I think I went by it already. He got kind of angry this week when Harris gave him a smack on the back of the head, and when the chance arose, Quentin actually stood up and smashed a vase over one of the Harris clones' heads, which was kind of surprising because Quentin just seems like a very timid person. But I think he's getting really PO'd because he's not getting any answers about his sister, because he's asking Erica and she wasn't giving him anything. And I think he's really PO'd. I think we're going to see him, because he was even pointing a gun at Harris, and that's completely out of character for him for the last 4 episodes. He's kind of been whining, he's in pain, nobody's listening to him, and all of a sudden he's going to kick some butt and smash vases over people's heads and pull guns on them. We're gonna see him evolve into a badass.
Well, let's face it, the guy's been shot.
Yeah.
If I was shot and I had nobody with answer for it, I'd probably be just as pissed and angry and as antagonized as he is. And when he's pulling the gun and pointing in Erica's face, and the gun is shaking, you can see that it's basically volcanoing. And I was pretty sure he's ready to explode and pull that trigger. I really was. Until basically, Noah's like, we still need her. She has all the answers. We can't kill her. She's still a major player in this entire game. But if Noah wasn't there, I am very, very sure he would have pulled that trigger if she didn't start confessing where his sister was.
I agree. I think he's really frustrated and mad because he's, it's been over a year since he's seen his sister, and he doesn't know what's happened to her or where she is and what they've done to her. And after seeing what happened in the basement in the previous episode, he's wondering if maybe, hey, they could have her hooked up to something even worse than what he saw already. I see he's getting frustrated. He wants answers. Noah's kind of the calm, I want answers, and Quentin's the, I'm not getting my answers quick enough. That's a picture of Taylor with Noah down in the basement before she decided to go home and make amends with her mom, so Noah can get his hands on her. That was kind of interesting that her mom just kind of, they made it out that she's got a substance abuse problem. That Taylor and her mom have this really strained relationship because of that, and mom couldn't trust her. She was a headache to her mom. made it really easy for her to become the good guy or the good girl. Made it easy for her to flip because she's got this disdain for her mom because what happened to Francis, because he's obviously going to be dead because he's hooked up to the machine like Molly. He ain't going anywhere anytime soon. Do we think she's going to be a major player down the road, or are we going to see her probably die off in the next episode or two?
I'm thinking major player, and then she dies. For all I know, everybody's gonna die. I'm going to play it of the same way that I'm viewing now Game of Thrones and The Walking Dead, that everybody's dead, or everybody's going to die. Nobody is safe. It feels like Kring is playing off Kirkman, and that everybody has an expiration date on their forehead.
Okay, yeah, I like that. I like that. No, I'd like to see him make some twists because we're always so, the first 4 seasons, we always knew that Hero was going to be back. We knew Claire was going to be back and Peter was going to be back. But like Kring was saying before the season started, he's like, the gloves are off. Anybody can go. And we've already lost major play. We've lost the Haitian and Molly Walker now. Yeah, like, I don't know if they're going to get rid of Noah, and I definitely don't think Hero, because I don't know if, like I said, nobody's safe, basically, and everybody could die except maybe a couple of the main players. My concern is you're going to kill somebody off, make sure they stay that way. I don't want to see a Nathan Petrelli, I've died 3 or 4 times to keep coming back. Kill them off, and make it, if you're going to kill off a major player, make it heroic or memorable. Don't make it something really, or as I call it, weenie. Don't make it that wasn't, they could have easily fixed that in the first 4 seasons, but now we can't fix it in Reborn.
In other words, don't make it a cheap death.
Yes.
Spend big, be big. Spend it all. No cheap deaths. Unfortunately, the Haitian falls under that.
That was. They could have. Yeah, that was. I didn't. When he died, I'm like, because like we were talking about this before, he was such a good hand-to-hand combat guy, and I know it has to be as well because he's been trained to take down guys with powers, but he kind of easily handled the Haitian, and the Haitian was such a badass, and can beat anybody hand to hand, and all of a sudden he's struggling to keep Noah from climbing on top of him and pointing a gun at him. I'm like, just seemed kind of odd that maybe he let him do it. I don't know. Maybe there's a bigger reason for why he did it, but
it felt odd and felt sloppy.
Yes.
Sloppy writing. And I'm sorry to say, I was really disappointed with that scene. I was really disappointed.
I figured the Haitian was going to go at the hands of a normal, not an Evo. It would be by a normal, but not Noah. I figured it would be somebody else in the company, try to make a name for themselves, and they take out the main guy for the bad guys. But it just didn't happen. But I imagine we're going to see the Haitian in flashbacks. I believe there's a couple episodes coming up, a 2-parter that was called Odessa, or goodness, I don't remember the name. But anyways, a 2-parter regarding what happened in Odessa. So I imagine we're going to have some flashbacks there. I think that's where we're going to see Mohinder and Angela and whatnot. I don't know if it'll be just before or just after what happened. But let me just. Here we go. This is Detective Deering in the back. So his thing was what do they call it? Epic shows up at the police station, and the cop, his partners, put on the glasses, and they turn to him and look at him right away and realize that Deering is in fact an evil himself. So they take him out, put him in the van, and I like that picture there because it reminds me of a lot of season 3 of Heroes when they were putting the packs on them and sticking it up their nose to block their powers. It's kind of a nice little, you remember this, and I thought it was kind of cool. But then we've got El Vengador showing up to save the day to stop his two partners from taking him to the government institute or wherever they take these guys to tag them and bag them. And what do you think of El Vengador's new and improved super suit?
Okay, so we got a cop who flies under the radar, and I don't know, he's an Evo killing and kidnapping other Evos. I'm not too sure what his agenda is or what his backstory is of doing that, but it's plainly that he's dirty. Sleazily dirty. And quite honest, I thought it was poetic justice that his partners turned on him. I kind of find it funny that he thought he could get away with it in the end. And to ironically be saved by our masked vigilante. That is pure, like, you know, irony, considering the fact that he was the one beating him up, smashing him through buildings, practically. And suddenly he's saving him, but he's like, I'm going to save you, but you have to show me where my friends are. Oh, and you're going to go right in the trunk. Really? Really? By the way, our mass vigilante feels like a little bit of a ripoff of Iron Man. I don't know how the hell that he made that suit or what kind of mechanized way he pulled it off, but maybe his superpower is technology, the way Micah is, except he can build it as opposed to manipulate it.
I think you're right 100% on that. I remember I think it was the two-part premiere episode where he goes to see his brother Oscar, and when he walks into the garage, he says, "Oh, well, if you do this and do this to the car, it'll run no problem." And Oscar looks at him, "Well, you think you know how to fix cars now?" It was almost like he could hear something that his brother couldn't hear, or like you said, like a Micah type power. He can see how things work and can fix them.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Did Micah and him share a sort of like technology gene? It's plausible. I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah. No, I think in this season we're not seeing a lot of new powers, but we're seeing a lot of different variations of original powers. So this could be, like you said, a variation of Micah's power. This guy can kind of, like I mentioned last time about the TV show No Ordinary Family, where the son could look at things, and if he, for example, he's playing football, he could actually see where he had to put his hands, where he had to put the angle of the ball to get it to the guy, or he can look at a math equation and figure out how to fix it, or if he was running up a wall, he could see where he had to step, kind of thing. I think that's what this guy's got. He's got some kind of power like that where he can look at something, figure out how to improve it or make it better. Because this super suit, like in this picture here, like he grabs the back of the van and rips the doors off like they're just made out of wet paper, which was kind of cool. And then there, like you said, he takes Detective Deering here and says, "We're gonna go for a ride in the trunk. enjoy the view."
I gotta say, it's a pretty bad down. The back of a van into the trunk of a car. Not exactly the best of circumstances for our Detective Deering, but of course, I think it's kind of fitting.
Karma has struck him. Now we got okay. So this first picture here. That is from the Melina and is it Farah? I keep getting her name wrong. They've gone to Quebec, Canada. That's where they start off their journey in this episode. And Farah is going to meet with somebody who doesn't ever show up. And as she goes back, Harris ends up tailing her. She goes invisible, but he's wearing the glasses so he can follow her. As I think you said last week, call that evil Google glasses there. So we go on to her. So Melina kind of handles them with her. I don't know if she's just shooting air at them, but they went flying through the air like a couple kites.
I believe that she has, on top of, I guess you could say storm. I was about to say storm powers, or like earth powers, combined with telekinesis. Because apparently she can move people or move things or move the air around them. That's sort of what it looked like.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it has something to do with the air because like when the screenshot I tried to take, it looked like something was generating off of her, and also her hair is all flowing, and these guys go flying through the air like paper. And let's see what else we got on here. Okay, so they escape there for a second, and all of a sudden you got Harris and the crew following. And here's where it gets really interesting for me. Boom, we got Phoebe Frady as the Shadow. What did you think when you saw that?
Okay, so now we have a character that more or less looks like either like Darth Maul from Star Wars, combined with the fact that she has shadow tentacles, and we don't exactly know what they are, except that it basically nullified Melina's powers. Is she another form of the Haitian? I'm not too sure. But this character feels like an emo goth girl who's working for evil. And I'm very, very curious about her. What's her deal? What's her story? What's her backstory? What are her intentions? Why is she working for the corporation? What do they have a hold on her? All very valid questions we have about her and her powers.
Yeah, watching her in action with Melina, like when she comes out and I saw her, I was like, okay, this is cool. We're going to have a fight. And all of a sudden, Melina said Melina's powers are null and void. She's like, I can't use them. And it's almost like Phoebe is, Melina kind of is a life giver, and it's like Phoebe's a death, can be. I remember in the prequel, those who hadn't seen the prequel, she had the ability to steal light. So essentially, she's stealing the power from Melina. I don't know if she absorbs it, but she's definitely blocking it or stealing it from her so she can't use it. And no, I think first thing that came to my mind when I saw that Melina's powers weren't working is Phoebe responsible for Claire Bennett's death?
Good
Do we
question.
think that's possible?
Very good question. Did she have a plan? Did she have a play on this, kind of like the Haitian would do? And is this Is this like a really weird analogy of light versus dark?
Yes.
Versus darkness? It's pretty an interesting twist they put. I'll give them that. I like it.
I'll say this is probably one of my favorite parts of last night's episode, just because I think we've been kind of waiting. Because Harris is a cool bad guy. I like him. You can cut off a finger and he'll grow a whole new body. But this kind of Phoebe's Shadowmancer here, she really took it to a whole new level of I can kill you and you won't have any powers. And it's kind of creepy because unless she's being attacked from all angles, who knows? She may not be able to be taken down by an Evo. She may have to be taken down by somebody normal like Noah or Quentin or Taylor or somebody else like that.
It kind of makes me wonder now, what if her and Siler ever met? Would they team up or would they go at each other's throats?
Siler wouldn't like being number 2.
No, he would not. Not the evil Siler that we all know.
But he does know the one thing about with Siler, I think at the end was he realized that he didn't have to rip open skulls anymore to examine the brain. He was able to almost do what Peter did, listen to them, and he could mimic the ability, which was a shame. I didn't mind when he was ripping skulls open. I like when he was a real bad guy. There's a picture of Melina trying to use her powers, but realizing that not going to happen. No, and I think the girl playing Melina is doing a good job, especially in this episode. She, like right here where she's not able to use her powers, you can really see the fear in her face. And then when Farah turned to run away with her and Harris shot her, and she realized for the first time she's going to be on her own. She's got nobody else out there now. She doesn't know. She knows where she's supposed to go, but she's got nobody there as a backup anymore. Nobody guiding her. You can tell the girl that plays her really showed to me showed an emotion that I'm alone now. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm afraid. It's my first time.
Oh, by the way, I have this bloody envelope. I don't know if I should open it or not right now on the blanket, but you told me you can have answers.
Yeah, I like that, the bloody envelope. I'm like, oh, okay, that was because she had it in her back pocket when Farrah got shot. I'm like, that's lovely. What else we got on here?
Which makes me wonder, oh, great, they just killed off Farrah? I kind of liked her. I wanted to know her backstory, too.
I'm wondering if we're going to get a couple flashbacks because they keep referring to the baby. They keep saying, where's the child? Where's the child? Is Melina like a Benjamin Button case where she's like born an adult, or what's the deal? Because I haven't seen any baby that they're looking for right now.
I'm pretty sure they're referring to Melina as a child because she's young. It's possibly that.
That could be too. It was funny. I had to tell you that somebody on one of the message boards somewhere else today said, "Oh, they're talking about Matt Parkman's kid." I'm like, Pat Parkman's kid would be 8 or 9 years old now, or something. I go, I guess, and Parkman's not even in the show yet. Why would that? That's kind of like, no, I don't think that's right. I think you're right that they're talking about Melina being a child. But because they mentioned in the first episode that we've raised you since you were a child, they've been protecting her, so she must be like another major key in the epic puzzle. Well, there's a picture of her with the lovely envelope, and as my wife was watching the episode with me last night, she goes, "Huh, they conveniently had a blanket in the back of a logging truck so she can hide."
I was wondering about that too. I'm like, why is there a blanket in the back of a log? Okay, we'll just throw it in there. We'll go along.
That's where the loggers go to have a nap when they're they're not busy. But oh wow, okay, so that was my entire slideshow.
Blanket and they call it good as a bed. I'm not too sure. Okay, we'll go with it.
Exactly. Now I'm gonna try and find something here for you, John, that I saw today, and I said, "Oh, I've got to show this to you if you haven't seen it already." I'm just gonna try and bring it up on the screen for you. Bear with me here. Yeah, unfortunately, when I get home from work, I don't get to see the episode until 8 o'clock Pacific. So the time I watch it is 9 o'clock, and I'm like, I would do a show that night, but I'm so tired, and it's a Thursday. I don't think anybody else would be up anyways.
Gotcha. Do we have any viewers? Is anybody watching us, or?
Yeah, I saw at one point we had 27 people.
Wow.
So but this thing goes up and down, up and down. At one point it said 51, but I don't know if that's people that started off initially watching or if they were oh goodness, of course I want to show this to you because I'm like, you're just gonna get a kick out of this. And I didn't save it. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna play this for you. I'll try to sit back somewhat in the way. Oops. Let me just restart this.
Is this the solo player?
No, this is here we go. Just running it from my Chromecast to my little TV.
I'm supposed to save the world.
Whoops, sorry, it's just a little.
Got a little lag, I understand.
What if I'm not good enough? You will be.
A new generation of heroes who are back will come together to fulfill their destiny.
It's a sign, Luke.
And Hero Nakamura, surely a beloved hero. Good to see you, old friend. Returns.
It's good to be back.
Heroes Reborn. All new Thursday on NBC. And get the NBC app.
Now I saw that and I said, I know somebody who's going to be very happy to see Hiro Nakamura coming back next week.
Ah!
I'm like, it's been such a long time, and I think, to be honest with you, I think this is a boost that the series can use right now with his character, because he's such a beloved character. He's basically one of the top 1-2 characters of the entire original series. Like I said, I was a Peter and Siler fan, but Hero was above them to me. It was Hero and Claire and Peter. Is basically how the characters fell. And to have him back, like the numbers for the show have been around the from the first episode to now, between 8 and 5 million a week, which is not bad for a mini series. But if we wanted to come back, we needed to go a little, stay up at the 8 for it to be for them to even consider it coming back. And I think introducing Hero for a few episodes is going to bring a lot of the original fans back. And a lot of people want to know where he's been, what he's been doing. And one thing I wanted to mention, what I didn't bring up on the screen, I skipped the picture by accident, was when Noah was talking to Erica in the house, he said, "I want to know how my daughter died, and why was my memory wiped," kind of thing. He goes, "Well," and she says, "Well, you're protecting someone, you're hiding someone." And he says something about Hero, and she's like, "Hero died on June 13th as well with everybody else. Obviously not dead." What are we going to maybe see in this? I don't think we're going to see Hero kicking butt in the first episode, but I think we're going to see a grizzled time traveler in this first coming episode.
Okay. Clearly, Erica is lying even when there's a gun pointed into her face. B, she doesn't know that Hero's alive. Now, I don't know if you remember, but I posted an article before, and it said that Masioka is only going to be on for 3 episodes. I'm like, are you serious? 3 episodes out of the 13? I don't know, maybe if it's a schedule thing, or maybe it's the writer's fault, but Hero feels like he's playing a very small role now.
Yeah, I read the CBS that has Hawaii Five-0. I heard they were only willing to share him for the 3 episodes, which I was kind of happy they did. But at the same point, like you said, we're going to be going into episode 6. So if he goes 6, 7, 8, then we're going to have 5 episodes without him. So maybe they're just going to introduce him now, and maybe wait a couple episodes, bring him back, and then have him back for the climax at the very end. But I still think we're going to get some originals that haven't been mentioned. I don't know. It just seems like, for me, it still bugs me. If I'm going to go off a little sideways here, it does bother me that Masioka can only come back for 3 episodes. Hero, the show is called Heroes. The guy's name is Hero. He was the main focal point of season 1, essentially. But I'm going to go to Peter. Milo Ventimiglia. For the past year, his fans have been just dogging him on Twitter at any Comic-Con type thing that he goes to. He does a lot of those where he'll actually go meet the fans, take pictures, and sign autographs. You don't see a lot of the other characters doing that. They go to Comic-Con, the big ones, San Diego, but they're not going to like the small ones that come like to Vancouver here. We've had, as you can see behind me, I got Robert Knepper and Ray Park from season 4. They came down to visit, like Darth Maul. I'm like, Darth Maul came to Vancouver to do a fan expo. But Milo is going to these things, and he does these like these little small rooms, get a couple hundred people in them, and they ask him questions. And the first thing somebody always asks him is, "Heroes Reborn, are you going to be in it?" And he's like, "Nah, man, that's like asking how your ex-girlfriend was doing." Well, what? That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. That show kind of propelled you to the next level. Yeah, you did Gilmore Girls. I'm sorry, I didn't watch Gilmore Girls. My wife did. I could care less about Gilmore Girls. And he played some character was the main love interest. I'm like, Heroes is what introduced me to Milo Ventimiglia. And then I started watching all his movies that he was appearing in. And kind of following his career from there. And for him to kind of say, I have no interest in being part of something that propelled me to the next level, kind of struck me raw. And I'm thinking maybe he's just saying this crap because he's actually going to show up, even if it's the last episode, because they haven't even mentioned what has happened to him. We have Erica saying, okay, well, Hero and Claire are dead from June 13th, but what about Peter? What about, Siler? What about, well, we're going to find out what happens to Parkman, and we're going to see Suresh, and we're going to see Angela, but what happened to Tracy Strauss and, and some of the others? At least with Zachary Quinto, he's like, well, time constraints, I couldn't do the show. I couldn't come on and play Siler. And he was kind of him and hawing, well, I don't want to go backwards in my career and play a character. He goes, I was a beloved character, but I don't know if I want to revisit it. I think he would have did it if he had the time. I know right now he's been up here around Vancouver filming Star Trek 3, or I think it's, Star Trek 3. He's been here for a couple months, so. But they were filming back in March and April, The Heroes Reborn, so he could even get a cameo back then that we don't know about. I'm really questioning Hayden Panettiere. I keep saying her name wrong, but yeah, I don't know now because of that article that we were just reading. That's a terrible thing for a woman to go through. I can't even imagine what that's like. But if she's had this all along, maybe I don't think she's been even doing much of Nashville at all. Maybe she's taking time off from that as well. I would love to think that she made an appearance in Heroes Reborn somewhere down the line that they've kept completely under wraps. But anyways, going back to Milo, he just keeps going to this I don't want to revisit an old girlfriend kind of thing. And I said, you know what? I've got ex-girlfriends I'm friends with. It's not hard to be friends with an ex-girlfriend. You can be mature about it. I know that him and Hayden broke up. They were dating at one point. They broke up, and apparently they were both saying they were both difficult to work with on set. But hey, don't do it, just do it for the people that love the show, who put you where you are today because of that show. I'm not saying pay us back, but do something, or don't crap on the show that we loved you in. And I feel like that's what Milo has done, and I'm a huge fan of his. I love his work, but I just felt he was really going out of his way. He was even saying, "Oh, they shouldn't reboot this series because the original fans aren't going to be happy with it." With this reboot. And I go, it's not even really a reboot, it's a continuation. It's just taking place 5 years later. So we're kind of getting the story in between, and we're kind of playing catch up. And it'd be easier if they could just say, hey, Peter's dead, Siler's dead, they've hinted Claire's dead, but give us some closure. I think the fans deserve closure on all the original characters, even if you mention them in the passing, like Noah mentioning Siler in the Needs of Many episode, where he's talking to Taylor, says, well, I knew a guy that could harvest the powers from people's brains and for his own ends. And I thought that was kind of cool. At least they mentioned him. But there's been no mention of Peter whatsoever in this. And being, to me, he could have got his powers back, because he had that silly hold one power at a time thing. What if he acquired somebody who had the mimic empath power again? What if he got a hold of somebody that could do that? Would he be able to hold all these powers again? Could Siler have done something to him to make him, hold more than one power? I don't know. There's so many things they could have done or explained, but I'm just really disappointed that if Tim Kring really did not offer Milo a spot, as Milo has said, I find that very odd that you would not invite one of the three major stars of the show back. Hayden said that she didn't know about it right away, but I think she did. Masioka made a comment within a couple months when they aired the first commercial over at the Olympics a year ago. He's like, it's time to dust off the old sword. So he knew about it back then because he's making comments. I think they're just hiding it, and I don't know. I don't know what your thoughts are on that, but I just think that to not invite, if Tim Kring really didn't invite the Peter Petrelli back, I think that's a huge mistake.
Okay, so my thought is this. Milo being the way he is kind of reminds me of James Vanderbeek back when, during the Dawson Creek days. You think he's a nice guy, but to be quite honest, not really the nicest person you've ever met. In fact, it's kind of a pretty petty personality in a sort of way. Maybe, maybe there's some backstory or, some bad blood with Milo and the cast, and I don't know, just with the whole entire series itself. We don't know that. Now, with that being said, I do believe what you said is true in terms of its time constraints. Zachary is a little busy with Star Trek, understandable. Masi is totally entwined in Hawaii Five-0, understandable. Hayden Panettiere with Nashville and the baby and postpartum depression, all understandable. That being said, you also have to remember, if there was ever a cameo or if there's ever an introduction of their character somewhere in those last remaining episodes, you also have, I don't know if you watch The Walking Dead or Game of Thrones, but they are, all actors and actresses are contractually binded to keep their mouths shut over any production or any hints on the plot line. It's basically a solid grip. It's basically CIA tight. They don't want rumors. They don't want any leaks. If they are going to appear on the show, we will not know about it. And I'm very firm to know that they will not know about it. And I don't care if they hire TMZ on it. Chances are we will not know about it. If they really wanted them on the show, they could. I'm pretty sure you could squeeze them in.
Yeah.
To be quite honest, I think you're right. They are maybe they just moved on with their careers. And, maybe it's also a possibility that if they go back, they might actually tarnish what they built. That they might feel like it's a cop-out, or they might feel like I'm doing a disservice to the character in which I cared about. I'd rather leave it to time than try to enhance it and somehow blunder it in the process.
Gotcha. No, oh, see, if they come out and say that to me, I'd be okay. I understand that. And if they were to say, hey, I'm not going to come back to this if I can't come back to it full time. I want to focus on it. I want it to be right. I want the story to be good. But they, like you said, maybe it's well. I just got really mad with it when I heard about that with Milo. Milo saying that he wasn't asked to come back, and Tim Kring saying that he doesn't want to come back. And I was like, what is it? Which one is it? And then of course you start reading message boards and stuff, and of course you're getting rumors and conjecture and everything else, and you don't know what to believe. And I was just kind of upset that I'm super happy that Hero is coming back, because they need one of the three main players back, not just to boost the ratings, but the original fans who have invested their time in the show want one of their relatable characters back. Like Noah's great. I'm glad they got Noah there, because he kind of arcs everybody together. He was intertwined with everybody, so he kind of knows everybody, and maybe he'll tell us something we can learn about what's happened to these other people, because he's been around them from day one. I don't know. I really hope Milo shows up. That would be perfect. No, just because I would like Chloe. If they're going to say Claire's dead, then have Hayden show up and have the character dead. You're going to write off the character. Do it to me. Do it right. Like, do the death justice, and let her have her goodbye. Same with it. You're going to have Peter die or whatever. Just, I would say, let CGI them for all they care. Give them the proper write-off, as opposed to we don't want to be on the show because we don't want to be. Well, like I said, we don't know everything yet. And I'm just kind of like, I get frustrated with it because, and I want to know and I don't want to know, because if they are going to come back, hey, that would blow my mind in the season finale if Hayden and Milo both showed up. That would just be awesome. And that would be something I wouldn't be expecting.
It would be, and I know what you're talking about. You want a proper wake, and you want a proper burial, and you want a proper funeral.
Yes. It's kind of silly, but it's kind of silly for a TV show character. But like I said, I started watching the show a year after it was over, and I binge watched it. And then I spent from 2011 till now. There's not a day that doesn't go by. It sounds weird. There's not a day that doesn't go by that I don't watch the show on DVD or Netflix, or I'm looking up stuff online about it, or watching clips on YouTube. I was fascinated with the original show, even though I was a late bloomer on the show, and I just thought the ending was so. What a great ending! She's revealed the world to the world. There's people with powers now. Boom! I wish they would have just continued on with another season. Make it shorter. Like a lot of these shows, like Sons of Anarchy, Walking Dead, all these other shows are 13 episodes, and they're successful. And I think they could have went with a season 5 and 6 and 7 with the shorter length episodes and trim the fat. We don't need the Nox and the Daphne and the Blue Flame guy. I can't remember his name anymore, but his sister was Claire's mom, Meredith. Her brother was, good Lord, bald guy. Anyways, we could have trimmed all these smaller bit characters, had a couple big characters. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to go on a rant. I don't want to do that. But, no, I just really hope that the original cast, even if not this season, I'm pretty sure we're going to see a second miniseries.
Well, was there any word about Ali Larder?
Sorry?
Was there any word about Ali Larder, Tracy Strauss's character?
No, I haven't found out anything about what they've done with Ali Larder. She's I know she's with Mila Jovovich right now, filming the final Resident Evil.
Okay, that pretty much explains it.
Yeah, and she's on a show called Legends, and I think it's a cop type drama. That was her original reason for not coming back, but she's filming. She's been filming about 3 weeks with Mila on this final Resident Evil film, which I like that. I like that series too. A lot of people don't like it, and I played the video game. And I know it's really off base of the video game, but I enjoy it because it's zombies and women kicking the snot out of them. So, but yeah, she could make a cameo too, and she was the last of the Strauss girls to. Well, there was Sanders, I guess. Jessica and Nikki were the Sanders girls, and there was Tracy. There was another sister. I don't remember her name. Barbara Zimmerman, I think, was the other one. But I think that was more into the comic, I believe. I don't recall.
Comics.
Yeah.
Did you catch that comic in Luke's son's room?
Yes, that was from. Was that season 2? That comic?
What?
Do you have that comic?
No, but I saw it and I immediately thought, is that Isaac Mendez's comic?
That's right. That's what it was. That was from Isaac Mendez. I couldn't remember if it was season 1 or season 2, but that issue was from there either 1 or 2. And I think you're right. It was one of Isaac's comics. And I thought it was Micah's cousin, the one that could mimic anything she saw on TV. I couldn't remember if that was her character was jumping in the picture or not. I don't remember, but
was that? No, that wasn't Maya. That was someone else.
Yeah. I watched the show so much and I just can't remember the names because there were so many darn bit players in that series. That was a character they could have really expanded on because that was a pretty cool power. You can watch anything and then go do it. Like the possibilities were endless.
Oh yeah. And especially with the days of Netflix and Hulu. Oh my God.
She could become the next Jason Bourne.
She would be anything on her fingertips.
That's right. No, I agree. Well, John, I think we've covered a lot of good points here tonight, and I'm very excited for next week's episode. I can't wait to see Hero back on our screens and see what he's been up to. And I don't know. We'll see. We'll see where it takes us.
Where the writing goes with him, and I hope he has a great, beautiful ending, and he actually has a love interest in the ending instead of it flicking out. By the way, for all our watchers out there, please, in the next episode, please join us. As much as we love talking to each other, we want to hear other people's opinions and other people's views and other people's theories. For all the Heroes community, we welcome you.
You got it. Absolutely. As John said, don't be afraid. You know, if you've never done something like this before, it's actually quite fun. You just get to talk about your favorite show and talk about the nights before episode, what your thoughts were, what you think is going to happen. Just send us a message on the Heroes community board, or next time we post the next one for next week, which I'll probably put up on Sunday or Monday. You want to join in, just let us know. I'll send you an invite the day of, and you just click the invite, and it'll take you right to where we are right now, and we'll get you going. So yeah, don't be afraid. If you're watching, send us a message. John and I are both the moderators for the Heroes on Google Plus. John, what's the other? Is it Geek Den that you also moderate?
Yes, I do.
That's a fun site. Another community people should check out. It kind of covers pretty much everything fun.
Everything geek related.
Yes, everything geek related. Like, it's got a lot of cool stuff. I was reading that one today you posted about Maggie with Glenn's child thing. So I thought that was.
We don't know yet. We don't know yet.
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know, but I just said, okay, this is kind of. I don't follow. I just seen the last episode the other day, and I don't know where they're going to go with it. I haven't read any of the comics or anything. I'm really behind, so I don't know anything about anything really about the show other than what I see every week. So, but no. So anyhow, John, thanks again for co-hosting. And anybody watching, like you said, like John said, next week, just send us a message. Tune in next week again. We'll cover another episode, and everybody have a good night.
We'd like to have a bigger audience, and we'd like to have people more in our community participate more. So please join us, talk to us. We would love to have a conversation with you. Seriously.
All right. Okay, everyone. Have a good night. And John, thanks again.
Thank you, Glenn. This is the Heroes community tuning out.
You got it.